yeah.
I'll turn it up a little bit. There you go.
Oh, is that better? Okay. As Brian said, my name is Cindy Runkle. He and I are co-founders of 5280 Plus Senior Chorales. You'll see I'm also the accompanist and executive director. So we wear a number of hats here and try to do our best ever on all of those things. So, welcome to our many returning members, and a special welcome to our new folks. Could those folks who are with us for the first time today just show of hands, please? Fantastic. Okay. By now, you new folks should have met one of our volunteers, or probably a few of our volunteers out front. We have a volunteer group called Chorale Pals. They are the gals who welcomed you and got you name tags, and you'll be hearing a lot more from them as we go along. At break, I think I'll have Kathy, who leads the team, say a few words about our new member meeting, which will happen after rehearsal next week. So, let's see, Sarah's not here yet. At break, we'll introduce Sarah too, our chorus manager team who you got your music from. So before we get started singing, I have an exciting announcement to make. As we continue to grow, and we now have more than 250 singers in 3 groups.
Well, with all of you, I think it's going to be 260 or
maybe,
270.
I hope, yeah, we're definitely continuing to grow. We've been very fortunate to have Chris Garenti, who most of you know, there she is. And she's been assisting us with conductor duties. So, and much more, I might add. So, in light of her many talents, Brian and I have just recently promoted her to associate conductor of our organization. This semester, we're growing, doing a lot of things. This semester here, Chris and Brian will be sharing our conductor duties. So 1 week you'll see Brian, the next Chris. We'll kind of have a sharing and with our 2 conductors. So as I think they say in the chewing gum commercial, double the conductors, double the fun. So anyway, we're thrilled to have you. So thank you, Chris. Okay. So,
and she is the director of the Parker Group.
Yes.
That
Parker
is her baby.
Also conductor at Parker. So I'd like to introduce now my co-founder, Brian Leatherman. He is, you'll see very soon, our conductor and artistic director, and we think we have a very fun book of music for you. So I'd say fasten your seatbelts. And we're gonna, I think, jump right in here.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes. So,
right.
If you would please stand as you're able and put everything down. You need your hands free. For you new folks, we always begin with a vocal and physical warm-up. It'll be a little brief today. It's only about 10 minutes today, so we can get to the music. But normally we'll spend about 15 minutes getting you limbered up physically and vocally. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just this tapping motion. And you're just going to start going circular and then make it bigger. And then out to your arms, your neck, face, legs. Now stop for a second and just kind of tune into your bod. And what do you feel? Relaxed. Everybody always says tingle. Yeah, that's what I hear most often. It's just good. It just helps wake you up, especially when it's a little chilly outside. So, whee! Whenever I do a vocal thing, there's usually a physical thing that goes with it. And because if you're doing something physical, you tend to forget about what this is doing, which is good. Because if we think about this thing too much, we tend to lock it up. So, I would like you to try this exercise. Cindy, let's look at 23. And I want you to put your finger here next to your mouth. This is how it sounds. Just listen. So I want you to do that, and I want you to have your finger up pretty close to your mouth, and I want you to do it in such a way that you don't feel the breath against your finger. There we go. Okay. Now, let's go up a half step. This time, make sure you feel the breath against your finger. Keep going. With your free hand, do this smoothing gesture. With your free hand. Oh, some of you are doing this. That isn't this. Okay? Unless you got a shoulder sling on, you're not an all. I'm dear friends with shoulder slings. The veterans know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Keep that breath against your finger. You can switch. Question. What did you notice physically between no breath on your finger and breath on your finger? What did you notice in your body? Yes, it changed the sound. Of course it changed the sound. But what did you notice in your body?
Breathing.
I see people doing things like this. Yes, you had to use this musculature down here to support and keep the air moving. The key is, when we're singing quietly, we still need to have air moving. So you backed off, and there's a tendency for a lot of people to just kind of sing the way we talk. And we as Americans don't use a lot of breath. We kind of sit on our vocal cords, we don't use our breath, and that's why we tend to have kind of, well, what the French refer to, we sound like cats squalling. Okay, whereas you listen to anybody, even the British to a certain extent, have a more singing quality to their voice, okay, because they use the breath. Certainly Italians, French, Spanish do. Let's look, let's look at number 3. And I want to play with this one a little bit. So I want you to put your finger right here, right by your ear. And the exercise goes like this: no, no, no. And when you're singing an ooh, your tongue, the tip of your tongue, should be resting up against the back of your teeth. Okay, laying flat in the mouth. So put it right here, and here we go. Way out front, and we continue. So, do you notice what happened to the sound? Could you hear the difference? Somebody, no, didn't go flat. To my ear, it got brighter. Okay, Okay, now move your finger back here towards the back of your head, and we go on. What happened to the sound? It became noticeably darker. It changed. We shouldn't always sing with the same tone quality. There are some songs we'll want to sing with a bright kind of forward sound, some with a darker, warmer sound. And I don't play with that enough, and it's one of the things I'm challenging myself to do. So just watch where my finger is. How many more do we have? Oh, just one more. Well, let's put it right here.
Like this.
Let's put it here. Right in the, oh, okay, all right. Well, I tell you what, back up so we can do 3. And better yet, just start at the beginning. And you move your finger to where my finger is and sing with a brighter or a darker or a more neutral sound. Here we go. Stop. I need you to listen more carefully. No, no. The second one goes down and the third one goes up. Listen, listen, listen. No. That's better. The second one goes down. We don't just have to have one sound all the time. Let's see, do I have time for another one of these? Yeah, just a little bit. Number 18. D, D. The second one goes down again, and then do, 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 do. And when you do, so we'll just go D, D. Do, 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 do. Just up and over.
Always trying to get us to bow to you.
D, 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 D. Do, 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 do. Some of you singing D like this. D, D, D. D. Your mouth looks like ooh. Your tongue will be arched and will make an E sound. But we never do third grade E's. I did that for 30 years. I don't need to listen to third grade E's anymore. Okay? I want a nice mature sound. D. Okay? We are always striving for a tall, forward, spacious sound. Never this. Okay? Even when we're smiling. Where are we? D. Carry the light. always at the first rehearsal, I like to go over how to get yourself through a choral score. Some people have good knowledge of the skills, and some people have never held a piece of choral music in their hand, and we never know. And we're happy to have people of all levels, but I just like to go over this just as a reminder. So, for instance, if you look at this first page of music, which sensibly enough is page 2, that's because that's page 1 for this publisher. Some publishers actually number the first page of music number 1. Strange. Anyway, so the first thing you notice here is that there are these 5-line stabs, right? We've got a number of them. But if you look over on the left side, they're bracketed together in various ways. The first set of 2 is bracketed with a very fancy curvy line, brace, that's also called a brace, and the second one as well. And those are for Cindy. Well, she gets the fancy line because she's doing all the hard work. Now, if you look down at the third one, you can see there are now 3 lines of 3 stabs bracketed together. The vocal line just gets a single little line, and then the piano scores underneath that. She needs 2 stabs because she's playing, a wide range. She's got to work in what we call tenor and bass, whereas usually the vocal line will be on 1 staff. This is marked as a solo. We may or may not do it as a solo. I'm not worried about that. But so that goes for the first 2 pages. You'll see there are on page 3. You'll see there are 4 scores or systems. We use those words interchangeably. So one way to navigate is say, okay, let's go to the 4th system, the 2nd measure. Okay. Well, now measures, that's another thing. If you look at each of these systems, you'll notice these horizontal or these vertical lines that are crossing the stabs, and that divides the music up into groups of beats. In the case of this song, because our time signature is 4/4, there are 4 beats in a measure, and the quarter note is the note of measurement. Okay, but let's go a little further. And when we get to page 4, you'll notice now we have 2 vocal lines, and those are shared. The top one is sopranos and altos, and at first you're singing the same notes, you're singing in unison. And then below that is the tenor and bass line, and they're also singing in unison. That continues that way for a while, and then when we get to page 5, it gets a little crazy. So look at page 5 and look at the box number 25. Now there we have 4 very independent vocal lines going on, right? And in the case of the sopranos, they're going to sing the notes where the stems are going up. The stems are the little sticks that are attached to the little note heads. The altos are going to sing the notes that have the stems going down, and tenors stems up, basses stems down. And even if the vocal lines cross, sometimes the altos will be above the sopranos, sometimes the basses will be above the tenors. You look at the stem on the note to know which note is yours. Okay? Am I making sense so far? Okay, so I have a quiz for you. What is the first word in the bass part in measure 49? Bernie, good for you. Right. Now, measure 49 isn't numbered, but there's measure 48. Did you see the little number here on the left side? Okay. Now, what Chris and I want you to do is go through all of your music and number every measure, because it's a lot faster for me to say find measure 49 than to have to say Page 9, second system, second bar. Okay? Oh, big deal, Brian. What, big deal. It is a big deal, especially when you get a more complicated piece, one that has more measures in a line than this. This one's pretty well spaced out, but it's just faster. And when you look at our tutorials, more about that later, when you look at our tutorials, Chris and I have already pre-numbered them, so you just copy down what you see. Okay? And if you're one of those techies who's using an iPad, do you have any of you techies who are using an iPad to read your music? You can just download that into your iPad and you're done. Okay? And good luck, because I think those things are heavy. Anyway, we're going to start by learning the parts in this piece today. A lovely sort of spiritual piece. I would like to have everybody, and notice it says solo, any voice. For now, we'll just all sing it in unison, meaning we're all singing the same note at the same time. Now, when we say unison, tenors and basses, you're not going to sing the same exact note that the sopranos and altos are singing. You're singing what we call an octave below. So in other words, here's what the sopranos and altos are singing on their first note, and tenors and basses are singing this one, which is another E flat, but an octave below. Octave meaning 8 notes below. If you were to count it, you can see there's eight notes, the distance of 8 notes in between. So, Cindy, if you would just please play the tune for us, and we'll sing along with you. Why don't you start with the accompaniment? By the way, you will notice when you get to the tutorial, you notice that measure 1 is not the first measure on the page. Because the first measure on the page is a partial measure. And then when we get down to the next line, the first measure there is measure 2. So that's another hint. Sometimes, some editors, some publishers even call the first measure, whether it's complete or not, measure 1. I like it when they do. But anyway, Cindy's going to start at the beginning, and then when we get to the solo line at 5, she's going to jump up and just play the tune for us, and we'll sing along. I noticed we had a little issue at measure 9, and the reason is, at measure 5 you had a quarter rest, a whole beat of rest. At measure 7 you had the same thing, but at measure 9 you only had half a beat of rest. Okay? So let's do that again, and this time you've got to jump in a little quicker at measure 9. Let's just do that same thing again, but I think you know it well enough that she can play the accompaniment. So would you start right there? Or just play the whole accompaniment. It's nice to listen to. Nice rhythm. And putting the consonant on the rest that follows. Especially pleased by the way you read the 16th notes. Shines in the night. Very well done. Good. Now let's scoot on over to the next page. And if you'll just play parts for us again, Cindy. And 1. I wrote in quotes, ah. Because there's a tendency for us as Americans to sing light. And since this ain't country and western, we ain't gonna sing it like that. That was a joke. And since I've warmed you up now, I'm ready to tell you the joke of the day.
Oh.
And I've already inflicted it on a few of you. Lucky. So this couple had been married for over 60 years. And they had no secrets from one another, except for one box that the wife kept in the closet, and she forbade her husband to ever look in that box. While she was on her last day, in her laying in bed, and she said, "Go get the box." So he got the box, and he opened it up, and there was a crochet doll in it, and a bunch of money, which he counted, and there was $95,000 in it.
Whoa.
And he said, "Well, what's the story?" And she said, "Well, when we got married, my mother said, never get angry at him. If you're angry at him, go crochet a doll." And he said, "Oh my gosh, 60 plus years, and there's one doll. That's pretty amazing." He said, "What's the $95,000? "Oh, I made that selling dolls." Here we go, 16. Box 16, here we go. And show me where the T goes. Show me where the T goes. Stop! Do you notice all of a sudden tenors and basses, you have something different? Okay, let's hear you there at 20. Tenor and bass. And 1. Now, first I heard, ow, ow. That's something you put in your car, ow. I'll, a tall vowel. I'll be a beacon that's burning. You will see in the tutorial that the R is crossed out, okay? Most of the time, we don't sing an R, okay? We either flip it or eliminate it, okay? And there's rules for that, but just eliminate that R. Let's have that with the sopranos at 20. Sopranos and altos and tenors and basses at 20. And, no, I need both pitches, a C and a B. And 1. Stop. I heard all be a beacon. Okay? I'll. Open your mouth. And 1. There's a T. There's a T. There, stop. Now, at 24, and in the tutorial I've circled it in red, there's a repeat sign. Okay? So, we're going to, as my ORF teacher, I taught the ORF method of music education to children. And what Barbara Pego said, now that says, go look for my friend. So if you go over, clear over to the bottom of page 7, you'll see the repeat signs friend. And the friend, notice, is looking back the other way. You see the two little eyes? It's looking back the other way for its friend. Isn't that sweet? Now, so, in other words, we're going to start at 24. We're going to go all the way through. If you look at the bottom of page 6, you'll see both the soprano and alto line, you'll see a 1 in a bracket. And that bracket continues all the way through page 7, clear down to the other repeat sign. That is the first ending. So in other words, when we sing at 24, the first time we're going to sing all of that. Okay? Then when we get to the bottom of 7, we're going back to measure 24. The second time through, when we get to the end of bar 31, we're going to skip the first ending because it's the second time. And we're going to the second ending, which is on page 8. And you'll see the second ending is very brief. Okay. Give it a try. Let's hear just the sopranos and altos. We're starting with the pickup to 25 altos, meaning a pickup is a group of beats prior to the downbeat or the measure line. So the altos start on beat 4 and sopranos start again on beat 2 of the next measure. So just altos and sopranos, please. And if you don't know how to say those words, say this. Ba, 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 ba. 1, 2, alto. Section gets so let's have the tenors and basses. Page 5, pick up to 25. Tenors lead and then basses. 2, and by the way, the word is Luke's. Luke's. I am your father, Luke. Luke's. Say Luke's. Luke's. Not Lux. That was detergent from when we were children. Luke's. Not a. Eterna. Lux eterna, which means everlasting light. Okay? So, tenor bass. 2 and 3. Just the sopranos and basses. Okay, no tenor, no alto. And 1. I'm sorry, give them their pitches first. Okay. No tenor, no alto. And 1. The sopranos and the altos and tenors, starting there to pick up to 25. 2 and 3. On that dissonance, the E against the alto F. Let's have everybody pick up to 25. We're going to go on to the alto solo and finish the first ending, and then we're going to move to a different song. 1 and 2 and 3. I'm singing the tenor line. There's a tendency to go, don't move, stay on that E, and just keep the pressure on the altos, keep them honest. Okay? There are a few honest women over here.
Only a few?
That I'm sure of, The others, I don't know. Okay, altos, show off. Sopranos. do not help them. But look over here, there's 20,000 of them. You know? 1 and 2 and 3. I wonder if Andy Beck knows an alto or something. Never give the alto section a solo. I love it. It's wonderful. Good. We're going to move on to Waiting for the Light to Shine, which is from the musical Big River. Anybody know who wrote the music for Big River?
Roger Miller.
Trailers for sale or rent. Rooms to let 50 cents. Roger Miller. Yep. This is a rousing tune. Our guest for our concerts is a lady. Her name is Nerea Harlawan. It's a Welsh name. She is a Celtic fiddler. She can play the fiddle and dance at the same time. She will knock your socks off. I've asked her to look at this and see if she could add a fiddle part to this. She will also be playing violin and something else. And Carry the Light, there's a violin part for it. Okay, so, by the way, I think that some of you have been listening to the music already on the website. How many have already been listening to music? Aha, because you're reading like fiends. Really good. So, let's just jump right on the beginning of this, and with parts. Do you want to give them the little introduction just so they hear it?
Sure.
This is unison, sopranos and altos, and then tenors and basses. You come in with the last note of the page. 1 and go. Tenor bass, please. Top of the page, measure 10. Awesome. And for those of you, again, who aren't familiar with this, there's usually always, now in this particular edition, there are not measure numbers at the beginning of each system. This publisher doesn't do that. But they have put a measure number or a box measure number at important structural points in the song. So they made a big deal out of measure 10 because it's the first time we're all singing together in 4 parts. And you'll see other things like that. But it's very helpful if you'll go through and measure all your numbers. Measure all your numbers. That's the way it always comes out. It's never right, and I can't get it right. But I'm a tenor. I don't have a brain, so that's right. And since I'm a conductor, I don't have a heart. And think of all of the illnesses I will avoid. No brain disease, no heart disease. It's wonderful.
But you have courage.
Yes, I do. Page, measure 10, tenor and bass. And. Give you an idea, tenor and 3 and 4. Altos, you just go dreams I've been the dreams. You just hang on to that while the sopranos go on. And that's why they have words above the staff. Okay? Measure 10 again. And. Some of you tripped a little bit. Look down at the bottom of the page. The pickups to the second bar. In fact, so that little rest there is a 16th rest, and that falls on the beat. Things I've done. In fact, yeah, so it's just, in fact, tap your leg for me. And I'll do it, then you do it. In fact. Ready? And. In fact. In fact, right after you slap. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. In fact. In fact. Ready, and. In fact. No, you're waiting till the next beat. It's. In fact. That has to happen between two beats. In fact. In fact. Try it. In fact. In fact. There you go. In fact, it's very quick. Everybody, 10. And. Right there we're syncopated. Right there we're syncopated. So things I've seen, those will both happen off the beat. Right at I have seen beyond. So beginning of the second system. Ready, go. And you'll notice at the bottom of page 3, in the last bar, which only has 2 beats in it, there's R-I-T, which, and I realize I didn't mark my retard like I normally do, with some little wiggly lines. But retard, that's slow 4, slow down. Okay? Now, let's jump over to page 4, second system, last bar, which happens to be measure 22. And we are not going up to tempo. This is called tempo di lerno. And here are C's. 3, 4. 3, 4. Altos and sopranos at 22. I am waiting. 3 and 4. Stop. See those little wiggles in front of shine? That tells you you get to scoop. Waiting for the light to shine, or light to shine for the altos. So scoop up into that note. Okay? Same thing, I am waiting. 3 and 4. Off and. Tenor and bass, 22. Here we go. I am waiting for the light to shine. I am waiting for it's I have lived in the dark. The dark. The dark. Don't make it I have lived in the dark. In the dark. Just throw it away. Let's go on at 40. Now, in measure 31. Altos, do you see there's a line from your D, your whole note in measure 30, and you're singing O. And then you see that line that goes down to the tenor bass staff? That's just, it was more convenient for them to write your notes there. So you sing those 3 notes there in 31, and then the line goes back. And in the tutorial, I even put a little sign that says altos with an arrow and out. So can I have the sopranos? No, let's start with the tenors and basses. Bar 32. And let's do it with the text. That was a joke. The text is O.
Oh. Oh.
3 and 4. Off. Right at the edge of page 6. The notes get a little bunched up there and you might get fooled. So here's the tenor line. And each and every one I am waiting for the or the way that I was taught to run. One more time, tenors, without me screwing it up. Ready, and each and every one. Same spot, ready, and each and every one on the way that I was taught to run. Sopranos and altos, sopranos and altos, 30. 3 and 4. Everybody, 30. 3 and 4. I am waiting for the little light to shine. Say that with me. I am waiting for the little light to shine. Wait, and then for the little light. Just let it all come flooding out. Okay. Are we going to lunch today? We're not? Oh, you'll talk about it. Okay, all right. We're going to go right on. We're going to go right on. We are at the top of page 7. We're at the pickup to 46 with the basses who get to shine. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes, jump up and do an altar call after this song? Might have to. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, wait. I heard some of you being very proper. Waiting. No. Wait. Oh, good. We got time to do that section again. Pick up to 46. What do you think, ma'am? You want to try the high end or accompaniment under? Well, what the heck? Why don't we go back to the top of 4 where the faster gospel feel starts? I'm not going to go 126, but I'm going to go faster. Not bad at all. So, we break up our rehearsal with announcements. These first few weeks, they'll probably have to be closer to 10 minutes, but we like to keep them to 5 once we get into the swing of things, and then we take a 10-minute break. So let's go ahead and do the announcements. I will start with your homework. On your take note sheet that Cindy's going to talk about a little bit, there is the super secret password to get you into the member page. When you go to the website, first of all, if you do it on your phone, you know those 3 little lines. Once you get into a web page, you click those 3 little lines. A menu is going to come down. Scroll down. Keep scrolling down. When you get to members, click on that, and more things will open up. Okay. And if you click on practice or tutorials or homework, and I think there's one other there, it's going to require a super secret password. Don't tell anybody that it's SINGON, all one word, all capital letters. Shh, don't tell anybody. You can go in there and then you can see our practice tracks. Now, I have a confession to make. Brothers and sisters, I'm throwing myself, I have a confession to make. So I sent off to the company where we get our practice tracks, and he sent them back within 24 hours, and they were all there. He had everything. And I was thrilled, and I stuck them in a folder and didn't worry about them until it was time to create the practice track page. And for our biggest medley, Sing, he had sent the SAB version, not SATB. And some of you guys already found out that the soprano and alto lines don't match the SATB version. So What I have done is posted a link to a full recording of it, and that will have to do until he gets us the tracks, and I don't know when that'll be. Normally he wants 4 to 6 weeks, and it's a big medley. Okay, so it's my fault. I'm the person to hate. But anyway, you go in there, you find the song you want to work on. By the way, the songs are listed in program order. You go to the track you want to listen to, you hit the play triangle, and it will keep repeating until you stop it, okay? And so you can go practice. You can listen to your part, you can listen to any other part, you can listen to the full choir, or you can listen to just the accompaniment, okay? There's also a page called tutorials, and there Chris and I have posted a scan of our scores with the markings we want you to put into your music. And we're both really fussy about that, okay? Because would you rather spend your time here singing or me dictating to you what to mark in your score? And you can do most scores in about 5 minutes or less, including numbering your measures. So it won't take you long. Break it up, do one a day and you've got them handled in a week or so, okay? So your homework for this week: listen to everything at least once. Listen to everything. I'd recommend you listening to the full score, the full choral version of everything at least. But for next week, I want you to look carefully, and unfortunately in sing, you've got just the full choral version, but listen to it and try to start picking out your part. For sing, always look on the bright side of life and can't stop the beat. Look at those 3 for next week. And if you go to the homework page on the website, guess what it'll tell you? Exactly what I just said. Okay? So, but do look at the songs we're going to, like for instance, we didn't get through the rest of Carry the Light. So look at it. What we do these first few weeks is concentrate on going through and trying to help you get the parts, the notes under your belt, and we do that for about 4 weeks, and then after that we try to sing everything each time. We'll still polish things and help you with things you need help with, but we'll go slower here at first, and then we'll pick up some speed as we get along. And please number your measures and everything. Okay. Oh, yes. No scented products of any kind, including whatever you dry or wash your clothes in. We have some people who are incredibly sensitive to any kind of scents, and that means they can't sing. Their throat closes up and they can't sing. So just double check. Go up to somebody, a neutral party, and say, "Does this smell?" I gave some people a hug today, and I got perfume, for instance. None of the guys had perfume on.
You sure?
I'm sure, of the ones I hugged. But a few of the ladies did, so, and maybe it's just on your coat, but it really is a problem. It causes a problem for people. So please, no scented products.
Okay. All right. I'd like to call your attention to the handouts that you got with your music. Many of you returning recognize these, but for the new folks, these are kind of our operating guidelines. It talks a bit about our concert attire, and especially the take note form. I would just ask that you keep that with your music all semester, because it has all kinds of contact information and dates. It has our concert dates, our pre-concert rehearsal, our potluck, which is already scheduled. So if you could please take time to just read through that again. It's all updated from what you've seen before, maybe a few little tweaks here and there. But we will have an opportunity to ask questions about that at our new member meeting. And on that note, I'd like to introduce Kathy. You were busy when we started before. Kathy Lahuda heads up our Chorale Pals. And would you like to talk about our meeting in 2 weeks? I said next week, 2 weeks, right? And whatever else. Hi, I'm Kathy.
Most of you that are new signed up with me on the way in, so these two papers that she told you about that should have been with your music, I reiterate, don't lose those and make sure you've got them with you these first 3 weeks, because we're gonna really ask you to look these over before the meeting so that we can just spend the time with the stuff that you don't understand or you need clarification or whatever. I want to thank all of you. Because we were out in the hall, we weren't able to come in. I want to thank those returning members who picked up someone new today and just helped them out, because like I was stuck in the hall and couldn't come in with my crowd house. All these guys are terrific newbies, so if you can't get to your crowd pal, they're all happy to help you, so don't be afraid to ask.
And I'm glad you caught yourself. We never use the term old in this choir.
Vintage.
Ancient maybe, but.
No, we're told
Veteran.
vintage is.
Vintage or veteran.
Or veteran.
We used to have new member meetings on the second week of rehearsal, but with all the people that don't sign up till the second week, it was always rushed feeling. So we have moved our meeting, not next Friday, but the Friday after. I believe it's the 7th of February. And we're gonna ask the new people, who should all be registered by then, to meet with us. We'll introduce you to the rest of the crowd pals, the rest of the new people, and go over these very carefully and ask questions. Jot them down so that you can ask them at that meeting if you don't have an answer yet. Welcome. We all love it here. We hope you do too.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. And do you want your chorale pals to
Yeah, let's
see?
stand up. Mary Sue isn't here, so
Okay.
we've got some temporary stuff, so if they could.
Okay, thank you all for.
That's it.
All righty. Oh, Suzanne.
Oh,
Okay.
and Ben.
Okay. We also missed meeting our chorus manager. Now, Sarah has been with us from the beginning. And so she is the ultra charter member and also our longtime chorus manager, who, as you know,
By the way,
outside-
how many charter members are still with us? Raise your
Yeah.
hand if you're a charter member. That's great.
Wonderful. Great. So Sarah was assisted by Gloria Hutchinson. Gloria, thank you. And you have a few words. Okay. I am so pleased to see all of you here this morning. This is just a wonderful turnout. For those of you who are still deciding whether you want to join us or not, I hope you will. If I gave you music temporarily, so you need to turn that in at the end of rehearsal, and then once you pay your fees, then you will be given a permanent set of music to have and to hold and all of that.
And if you've decided by the end of rehearsal, yeah, this is what I want to do, then hand your music off to Sarah, go downstairs, and at the bottom of the stairs to your right, they will be glad to take your registration.
Okay,
Get it
and
handled, then bring your receipt back up, and she'll give you your music back.
Yes, and Heather Setz-Gettle, who is our liaison to Highlands Ranch Community Association, she is sitting right outside the door. She can assist you with registration as well. But she gets kind of overwhelmed, so please be kind. And you can always go downstairs if she is overwhelmed.
You know, slip her a 20 if they don't want
Okay, thank you, Sarah. You'll be hearing from Sarah and probably Gloria and Kathy and throughout this session. So lots more good stuff to come, but to start, if you can take a look at those handouts, that would be very helpful. We also have one more week to register, folks. So I've probably seen our flyer on the website, but if not, and you have someone you want to give this to, or post at your school, church, senior center, whatever, I have a supply of these up here on the piano, so just help yourself.
I
Yes.
did get permission from the senior center to put it right inside the front door for them to pick up. They
Oh,
don't
good.
have a bulletin board.
Great, great.
And if
thank
you're
you.
wondering why
Okay.
we don't rehearse at the senior center, it ain't big enough. And they don't have a piano. So we thought that's what we'd be moving there, but they said no.
We talked to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're happy to be here.
Okay, so I think before break, we just say we will be around for a few minutes after rehearsal
Yes.
if folks have any questions for us.
So we've got a couple
Otherwise-
things, and I just, before we get to those things,
What?
very important. The bathrooms are out here and then take a left and they're down towards, before you get into the gym proper. And there's also ones downstairs if there's a lot. So, Marianne,
Tony, you want to come up also, and Gloria as well? Big welcome to everybody. Welcome back, and welcome to the new ones. Part of getting to know everybody and part of the singing is we hate to stop once we're singing. So we like to go out to lunch. And we're the lunch bunch. And we will alternate who's in charge. We'll try to give you a heads up, if we can, 1 week in advance. And I had thought we would go out to lunch today. However, Cindy recommended, since there's a meeting with the new members, that we go ahead and wait and do our,
not today, there's no meeting today,
Informally though, we'll stay afterward.
but just for a few minutes.
next, so then do you
No,
want us
in
not to
2
go to
weeks.
lunch today?
We could.
Well, if somebody wants to speak, that's fine, but I thought give us a chance to talk about it and let you folks plan.
Okay, would you like me to do a count
Sure.
for today?
Where do you think?
Are there people that would like to go to, I'll let Tony announce it.
Okay, folks. We'd like to go back to Little Holly's. I miss that place. Love it. If you've never been there, if you're a newbie, you've never been there, it's a really nice Asian food restaurant. And they serve a lot of good food and it's not a large cost. So anyway, who would like to go to lunch today after rehearsal?
I was there yesterday. And their lunch specials are incredible. No, I can't go to that. I can't.
Oh, good, okay.
It's good. It's just, and we really encourage you new folks to at least once go, because the great
All
thing
right, well,
about this
thank you
group
so
is
much.
the people.
We have a
People
group
in
of
this
10,
group.
so when you get in there, look for us, and you will enjoy getting to know people. You really do get to know people through lunch. So thank you so much, and we'll see you there, those who can come.
Lenora had something.
Okay. Oh, Lenore.
You announced that the conductors would be alternating, but what about the important people behind the piano? Will Cindy always be with us, or will she be changing back and forth with us?
Sometimes she'll sit on this side of the piano.
You're stuck with me.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, very important. These are strings for your black choir folders. You may recognize them. Someone, I don't know who, ordered 20 but received 200. Or something like that, right? So I have many extras. If you're making do with rubber bands or you don't, you need extras, I have a huge supply that Sandy's going to donate, right? As many as we can find homes for. So anyway, see me for that, see me for flyers, and we'll have registrations open for 1 more week through next rehearsal.
Okay, so if you'll look at your watch, and be back ready to sing in 10 minutes. And any of you have questions or anything, come. We're here. We're available. Hope for business. It's cold in here.
25.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. Hey,
We didn't beat each other up this morning. So, I was thinking it said, when you freaking okay. I think that's right in the it is. Thank you. Anyway. Hold it here.
registered. There are 3 down there. There are 73, so 76. And everybody's 17. Same page with our friend.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah. Where is Sue? I don't see Sue. Diane?
I gotta rehearsal get back to you. So, all right, okay, thanks. Yeah, no, I love them. I love them. They're wonderful. I won't. We have a board meeting tomorrow, but I'm not listening. Okay, all right, bye. Thanks. Bye. Okie dokie, folks. Come on back.
See how that goes with you and see, you know, if Suzanne can't do or you have questions about nails. But I think
Oh, gee.
Musical thing. It's okay.
I know what I could do is I could start playing the next.
There you go. That would be fun.
You want me to start?
Yep. Come on back. And we're looking at audition. How many of you have seen La La Land? Really great piece. This one, I think, really probably ought to be a solo. It's not very long, but it would be nice if it was. So, audition. Oh, that suspension. I love that suspension. Altos, I'm going to be totally in love with you in this song because you've got some of the most exquisite suspensions. All right, here we go. So, and if you're not familiar with this song, what happens is the character that Emma Stone plays, she is called in to do an audition. And they say, tell us a story. So, ostensibly, she makes this up on the spot about this fictional aunt. I guess it's a fictional aunt. It's a real aunt. But anyway, she makes this up on the spot. And it's very touching. It's very touching. If you haven't seen La La Land, I think it's wonderful. It does have a bittersweet ending. Like, I loved it. Beth and her mother were less thrilled. They only like happy endings, I guess. I think it's a very appropriate ending. So that's all I'll say. And then you could go watch the Barbie movie too. We watched the Barbie movie, and then the next night we watched La La Land.
You obviously don't have enough to do.
Those are the only 2 movies we've seen in about 3 years, I think.
You should go see Wicked.
I want to see Wicked.
It is.
That one I would like to see in the theater. We don't tend to go to theaters anymore. I love it. I have always felt when I go down to the Buell, I've seen maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 shows there, and with the exception of 3 or 4, I usually end up thinking, I paid this much money for this? Not for Wicked. Oh gosh, that's fabulous. That is fabulous. Here we go. From the top. Barefoot. She smiled. Leapt without looking and stumbled into the sand. The water was freezing. She spent a month squeezing, but said she would do it. Fight for it and we'll come back. Oh, altos, that note. Alto. Oh. Altos. Stop! That's why they need us. You are the people who dream. You don't sit home saying, I'm old, I'll just stay here in my house. You get out and you do stuff. There is a wonderful video that Jane Fonda did, and the title is Adding 7.5 years to Your Life. And the crux of it is that there are a lot of things people tend to say about ourselves when we get to our age. Like, oh, I don't remember anything. There are people in their 20s, 30s who don't remember anything. That's bunk. That you're old and you have to be sick or whatever. There are young people who've got aches and pains and stuff. That's all garbage, okay? It's your mental attitude. But the single thing that will add, then the studies that they have done have shown that if you will be involved in art lessons, now that doesn't mean painting or drawing, it can mean that. But anything to do with the arts, painting, drawing, dancing, singing, poetry, acting, anything to do with the arts is going to extend your life. Yeah? Playing in a band. And it's the community that you have with that. And that's why we really strongly recommend that go out to lunch with us. When we have our potlucks, even if you can't bring anything, stick around. There'll be plenty of food. Guaranteed. And you know, you are sitting with a bunch of amazing people. And I hope you will get to know them, because they really are. But you are these people. And the world needs you. Page 9, top, who knows where it will lead us? Stop making me cry. And 1. You'll notice when you go into the practice tracks, there's a tenor 1 and a tenor 2. That's the one note. That's right there on the word plays. So I would like definitely the female tenors to take the top note and the male tenors to take the little tiny note. But if you really want to sing the upper note, go for it. Okay. But that's the idea. Okay. And then the basses will all be on the bottom. Okay, let's just start on the word "and" after the word "place." So we are at the top of page 10 in the last measure, and we're starting on the word "and." So we're on beat 2 of that measure. Here are your pitches. And no, I didn't hear 4 pitches. So here's the G sharp. Yeah, but. B and then the high E. And no, not that high. And boy, you're reading well. Altos, I don't know why, but in measure 104, the singer does not move from the D sharp to the D natural. We will, but for some reason they didn't. Okay, occasionally we find errors. Go on with the next measure, 105. Here's to the mess. And here's, go to the extended ending. Go to the extended ending. You can just put an X through the optional ending. You can just put an X. We're not going to do that. We're going to go on and do the last page. Flip the page, and we're now at 111. Oh, God bless you. There was a crescendo and a decrescendo. You can stay. 111. And I like this. I like you to put a breath after her and snow. So you'll go her and the snow and the sand. So I want and to be what we call a glottal stop. In the tutorial, you'll see a little marking in front of the two ands. And what that means is instead of we could sing her and the snow and the sand. The sen, by the way, sen, not sane. So what I'll want to do is her and the snow and the sand, and it'll be very free, and I'll dictate it to you, but so take a break there. So right there at 1:15. As quietly as you can sing. My only complaint is this song should go on another half hour. It's just so gorgeous. Gorgeous. You are reading so well. I'm very impressed. Let's jump to another song that's not nearly long enough. Never Enough. Now, I have never seen Greatest Showman yet. I will. I have to. It is highly fictionalized. In the research I did, evidently there was really no relationship, romantic or otherwise, between Jenny Lind and P.T. Barnum, which is put in the movie. But this is her saying to him, "You've opened up a whole world to me, but without you, it will never be enough." And it's all BS, but it's a heck of a good tune. And the young lady, I happen to know the parents of the young lady who sang it in the movie, Lauren Allred. The actress did not sing it; it was dubbed in. And then Lauren Allred was also on America's Got Talent, and she's going around with David, Foster, and sung this thing, and she's just amazing. But her parents sang with me with Mr. Shaw. Ooh. And they were in town when we had a guest composer in town, and Brady came out because he wanted to meet him, and from Salt Lake. He's very active in Salt Lake with the Salt Lake Choral Arts. And they put that up, and we watched that video, and she'll just melt you because she's all that in a bag of chips. But this is a great tune, and it's not long enough. Yeah. It needs to go on for another hour or so.
It's never enough.
Here we go. It's never enough. We're just gonna go through. You're reading so well. Let's see what we get done, and then we'll go back. We can catch things if we need to. How's the E doing?
Well, in this key, it's fine.
You're fine because it's E flat. She's got an E that sticks. A soprano, fourth space E. What a great note to have stick.
I found another one.
Oh, good. Oh. It'll be January next month too, won't it? Next week. Oh, but I won't be here. If you were born in the month of December or January, stand up.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
December and January babies.
It's never enough.
How far you come?
Oh gosh. And some of them have heard me really screw that up badly. That wasn't too bad.
Not bad.
That wasn't bad.
Kay and I are here going, he's getting better.
God.
Here since you started.
I started piano lessons for the first time in my life right before COVID. I used to tell the kids when I was teaching, you be good or I'll play the piano. And when I went in for the 4th time to Dr. Bush to pass my piano proficiency and was screwed it up, he literally shoved me off the piano bench. He said, give me the damn piece of paper. You'll survive somehow. And every time I had kids sing at Colorado Music Educators Association, and 3 different times, guess who was front row center? Sitting there like this. He had a great sense of humor. He'd come in and sit down on the front of this and say, hello, scholars. And I loved it, and a lot of my stuffed shirt colleagues were going, oh, he's weird. No, he's not, he's cool. Every time I'd take my bow and I'd say, well, am I surviving? He said, jury's still out. But enough about me. Just assume if it's above, it's a soprano note. If it's below, it's an alto note. And well, let's just fight our way through it, and then we'll come back and do what we can in the time we have. So we're at the top, page 4, and thank you for jumping to parts. Here are your pitches, your C and your A, and 1 and 2. Because I've added something in my music that will help you. But if you get out your pencil, we're going to do it just here on these first couple pages, and then you could just transfer that to all likable places. But where we have all this syncopation at the bottom of page 4 and the middle of page 5, it can look overwhelming. It sounds normal because it's really written to, it's really speech rhythm. But what you have to know is where's the beat. And so what I want you to do, get out your pencil, and I'm going to tell you where to mark a strong vertical note, or vertical mark in your music, okay? So look at bar 17, and over that initial rest, put a vertical mark, just a single vertical line. That shows you where beat 1 is. Beat 2 happens on the word shine. That's where beat 2 is. Beat 3 is on the first syllable of thousand. And then the beat 4 is the beat 1 of spotlights, is the first note of spotlights. You with me so far? Making sense? Now, in the next measure, it gets a little more complicated. Put a mark over the rest. Then you see the word stars is tied, right? Yeah. Put it over the second of the tied notes. Not the first one, the second one. No. The second note of stars. Then steel is also tied, right? Put the vertical mark over the second note of steels, the second of the tied notes. And the same thing happens on the word night. Put the vertical mark over the second of the 2. Now I will rescan mine and put it, and you'll see it in case you're not sure quite what you're doing. But this tells you where the beat is. And so as we go, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky. we get to the words stars and steel and night just before the beat. They don't happen on the beat, they happen just before. And when you get comfortable with it, it makes it sound very conversational, very much speech rhythm. Let's go to the middle of page 5, and we're going to do just one more measure of this. Put a mark over the first syllable of towers. Tenors and basses don't have this. And then gold is tied. Put the mark for the beat over the second note of gold. Make sense? And then still is tied. Put it over the second tied note. That's where the beat happens. So in other words, gold is going to happen before the beat, and still will happen before the beat. Okay? This happens a few more times in there. You could just transfer those marks or see when I get the tutorial redone. I don't know why I didn't think to do that when I did it. Let's go on. We did... What? Oh, over the second syllable of little. Sorry, thank you. Let's go back. 17. Fight your way through it. 3 and 4 and all the shine of all the stars of steel nights I did. And for me, up, never, never. 1 and 2. Never, never. 1 and 2. Never, never. For me. Yeah, and that goes for me. For me, me happens before the beat. And I've got some other markings in that you'll want to transfer. So let's just take it at never enough 30. Measure 30. And up. And. For me. All the stars of thousands of stars. All the stars of steel, night sky will never be enough. Never be enough. Towers of gold still these hands will hold the world, but it will never be enough. Never be for me. Never, never. 1 and 2 and never, never. 1 and 2. Never for me. For me. Never, 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 for me. For me. 3, 4, 1, 2, for me, and I'll just dictate that to you. If ever there was a song where you get to throw a tantrum on stage, this is it. Never, 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 never. I'm hoping that the back row of rowdy altos, usually the back row of altos are rowdy, especially over in Littleton. They get rowdy on me, which I love. And they're going to be up there going, never, 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 throwing their music around at me, tearing their scarves off. It's going to be great.
Is this where you want us to put the repeat?
Yeah, so we go again.
Go back to the.
I'll think about it. It's just,
Yeah, so short.
I think we need to Figure. All right. I tell you what. We got a little time. Let's fuss at this a little bit. Why don't we go to page 5, measure 21. And what I'd like to do, let's do the sopranos and altos, and then jump to 23, and let's do sopranos and altos, and get over to, well, we'll see how far we get. Get to at least 34. Okay, just soprano and alto. 3 and 4. Okay, now just soprano and alto going on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 for me, and me happens before the beat. That'll be the trick to wait and put it before the beat. Now let's go on from there to never, never. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and never for me. So that's for me. And the beat happens on the last note. For me. All that for me happens before the beat. Let's do for me right there, that pickup to the second bar and going on. 2, 3, 4. For me, and never, 3 and 4 and no tenor, no bass, please. Nice reading, altos. Sopranos, the tune. You got the tune. It's not hard for you, but good reading, altos. Let's do the tenors and basses. Starting, pick up to 22. That's page 5, second system, second bar. 2, 3, and 4. These hands that hold the world, but it'll never be enough. Let's do that again. Sing a little lighter. And the key is every time you have that, but it'll never, no breath there. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, or whatever it is. Okay? Let's do that. Sing lighter. 3 and 4. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough. Never be enough for me. 1 and 2 and never, never. 1 and 2 and never, never. Yeah, write yourself a note because you're going to go never, never again, and you only get to do that a few times. Let's do that one right there where we just ended. Let's start with the never. 1 and 2. Never, never. No, we're in the middle of page 6. Ready, go. Never for me. Yeah. But no, it's not for me. It's for me. For me. Echo me. For me.
For me.
For me. Okay. Start on never in that bar. Middle of page. 3 and go. Never for me. For me. And never. Never. Let's just try something. From the top with the accompaniment. Fight for it. You found 2 more keys. Congratulations. Let's give Cindy a hand. Would anybody like to stand by the piano and pull the keys back up for one place stick? Once you've listened to this a few times with the tutorial, with your practice track, you'll have it because it's really, it looks hard. It looks hard, but it isn't really. Singing the tenor line.
I know.
I need your harmony part. Never enough, never enough. I need it. 30, ready, go. Never enough. Good for you. Good for you. And we are right on time, my friend. Drive safe. Stay warm. Isn't it rewrite the stars?
Yeah, rewrite the stars.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a couple people doing that. Yeah, this is the music.
So
Yeah, it's a bogus story.
I'm glad because I was thinking over the holidays because I watched that.
I've got to watch that. I've got to watch it because I don't like the music.
Oh, it is. It is.
Let's see who now. Let's see who plays. Who plays Barney? Is that
Jackson? Jack.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh, he's wow. He's fabulous. And then, yeah, the actress.